interested in natural resources, and he's gonna be going to Stevens Point. Seems like a good kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Polite,
Yeah.
right? Say he's very polite.
We're the only ones on there. There's nobody
Yeah.
on it.
Okay. All right, it is 3:02. Call the West County Lane and Forestry Committee order. We have a quorum. First on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from March 18th of 2025. Yeah, motion by Terry to approve the minutes, second by Phil. Any discussion on the minutes? Not all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Public comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Anybody get to speak in public comment?
I've got a question on, the archway that, the Rust Riders is requesting, and I saw that on the packet, dimension wise. I guess my question is, are they going to be large enough so that they don't hamper any of the logging equipment that could be used on it? That would be my biggest concern. Because the next thing that's, when the logging equipment runs into it, now there's a whole bunch more money getting spent. So,
Great. Anybody else wish to speak in public comment? Anybody else in public comment? Any other public comment? If not, public comment is now closed. First on the agenda, we got the monthly reports. You got the Parks and Rec report, Terry.
Report from midsummer. We are currently forming campground parks inspections, making some general repairs and removing hazard trees. We'll start putting it in docks next week. Water will be turned on at the campground in the next couple of weeks, depending on the weather. Applications for the rec grants were submitted yesterday to the DNR. There's a ATV and snowmobile variants. Our summer health workers will begin May 20th, which is Tuesday before Memorial Weekend. You get 2 or 3. 2. We cut her back to 2. That's all. Mike's been marking timber.
And
This time.
I just got the new campaign brochures. Awesome presents. Kinds of good stuff. Right. Any questions on the Parks and Rec report? Not, we'll go on to timber sales report.
We'll report from Dane Graveson, not too much going on the last month as far as timber sales department has been busy marketing timber. And getting ready for summer. Weight limits will be lifted Thursday, April 17th. Lionel Klein had moved back into the Ball Hill sale. Plugged away when the weather allowed. He's got a fair bit of wood cut and decked and ready to haul, and restrictions are lifted. He is moving out today due to local restrictions that are going to affect today. All from me.
Okay, and
How much wood do you think we got sitting up there now? I asked him that this morning, and it's probably a couple thousand. That's actually, I don't think quite as bad, but it's. Well, we see it all picked up. There's still a bunch of it that's laying in the woods. Yeah, I'm, for the Selfridge sale, which is kind of back in the middle of that block. They went in off Hackney Road up the Stoneville Trail to get back there. I want to say about half that sale is laying on the ground, all spots, like none of it's been forwarded. The other half is done in bond for the most part. That's on a 40% increase already, so it's done. Just done. December 31st. So we left to hope for a dry summer to be able to get in there. Early or an early winter. Otherwise, we'd be stuck dealing with taking a bond and closing the sale with 200 cords of wood laying out. Sure what the answer would be. Hopefully if things work out and it gets picked up. That was probably 1,000 or more cords sitting on the end of our set road. Just seeing longer. Yeah, that's true. That's sitting on top of that, right, should get all the swing. Questions? If not, then we go on to the administrative report. Got word from the Forest Health guys that Forest Caterpillar survey was good. Clean. Almost none were found, but false. What was it? Forest tent caterpillar. Okay. Eat the leaves off a tree. So that's nice that we won't have that pest this summer in huge numbers. Dan and I and Phil attended the spring WCFA administrators meeting. Eric was there too. Yeah, lots of good stuff was on the agenda. Good speakers, wildlife related. Remote sensing, LiDAR, drone technology stuff was a good subject. I thought it was interesting. Anything that stands up to you guys? Sure.
We won't even discuss carbon credits
Does everybody? Credits made to get speaker on carbon credit.
or Phil brings it up.
Did everybody else have the same experience? That was the same thing we got at the county association meeting too, when we were there. Everybody's like, yeah, we keep hearing about them, but it's a joke, it's not true, and it's like. And
Well, we-
then everybody brings up that one county that got them, like,
Yeah,
a couple people did, and everybody else like, yeah, that's not gonna
I
happen.
got it twice. That's weird.
They
part.
had 3 sales. I think they're up to like 1.3 or 1.4 million in the last 2 months in carbon credits.
They must have friends in the right places.
Apparently,
I keep seeing ads on Facebook for like public landowners for carbon credits. It's like, yeah, everyone's counting a lot more info. I just want to be assumed like, yeah, I'd say like.
I think there's a minimum though too on that, if I remember right.
I got an email today, actually from Anu. Some questions from a possible carbon credit buyer that's supposedly looking at our stuff. Sounds like they want a written plan of what we plan to do with the money. And they want, which we don't have. And just waiting on planning until we know.
Well, that's kind of how much money they got. We'll come to the plan this meeting. And they throw $1 million at us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the questions was related to what kind of health benefits, people get from our being able to access our forests. Not sure why I got to answer that. I think anybody can go on Google and figure out why going outside is healthy. But we'll probably work on that.
They must have a board they gotta present it to.
You keep saying that it seems to hold more water if it comes from the landowner, even though it's just questions that.
You could ask Katie up in public health that type of question because there's a lot of studies on that. So
Maybe I should reach out, because this is supposedly the health related organization.
yeah,
Scan company, I mean, insurance company. I don't know.
Well, I can only, I don't know, I suspect that. Some of that stuff's gonna be even less sales, being that there's probably less requirements for. Needs to offset their carbon footprint stuff coming up, so. I can't see the carbon credit business getting bigger, I can only see it getting smaller, which thoughts.
Yeah, like the required stuff, we're not even. It's government mandate or stuff like that. We are in the voluntary market, it's completely voluntary. That they do for agriculture. So the.
And that's why we gotta have,
Things shouldn't affect it as much, but depending on.
well, if there's more credits of the other stuff available, it just means the market's that
Right.
much more saturated with. The hot air, I mean, basically, that is,
Right.
right?
Okay, let's see. Got the grant check from. For the tree planting. For $2,752, so we have almost 3,000 trees ordered.
When do you plant those end of the month or something?
Yep, cruising crew is supposed to start planting around May 1st.
And that's from the Flambeau prison.
Went to the Elk Advisory Committee Thursday last week. It was a lot of work plan development stuff. Elk management plan implementation timeline. Basically looking into what the elk biologists and researchers should be prioritizing, what they should be working on. Research priorities would be alleviating human elk crop damage conflicts on farms. The biggest problem is putting on. We're looking at habitat preference needs of the elk shows, so if you try to use that to draw elk away from the farms. All intermingled information. We want to do more community engagement, research the herd health, stuff like that. Yeah, we haven't applied for your elk tag, it's still open, so
And how many is there? 8 of them?
I think there's 8 for the northern zone and I forget, maybe 4 or 5 bulls for the central zone plus 5 cows. So it's, the statute is written, I think it's in statute or in code or something, so once in a lifetime hunt in Wisconsin.
So if you win and you can't win it the next year.
So if you take a tag, you're done for your life. However, if you get drawn for a cow tag, they're gonna ask you if you want it, you can deny it, so you're still eligible for a future bull tag.
Tell me that you might not take drawn again, you might want to.
Correct, that's gonna be the decision for, trying to remember, I think they say. I don't wanna throw a number out there, but
Just make up one.
yeah, like 15,000 or more.
We don't-
Applicants per year, we don't 30,000 on it.
We don't have any different.
It's basically, it's a lottery. You get drawn for a cow, it'd be tough to turn it down.
Yeah, especially if it's us, the people, yeah, it probably is a, it's an all time chance of
Yep.
drawing something.
And the reason for the cow tags in the central zone is because of cropping. They're having trouble with legislature passing the rules change that goes along with the new elk management plan. I think it's partly related to complaints that they've gotten from farmers down there. However, the rule change, when it goes into effect, will allow targeted hunts in specific zones within that area. And shoot themselves in the foot by not moving it forward, but there's no real feedback on what they don't like about the rules. They just haven't shown interest in moving forward. So as of now, they're still operating on the old management plan. So, not as helpful for herd management as the new one would be. With all your legislators. Yep. See, where was I? Yesterday, I met with John Waldron and Gary or Jerry Seaboss, or either Gary. Okay. To look at some planning and stuff they've been looking at for the west side trails. relating to Seltzer Road and stuff like that. Then I had time, so I ran out with John Waldron to look at some stuff south of Audie Lake, near Audie Lake. We have a decent plan there, I think. He's on the agenda for May to come in and speak. I think we have a pretty good plan there that we keep them off south of the road, but still give them a nice loop up there. And keep everybody happy, maybe. I have email confirmation that the Friends and Forest Products bond check has been issued and it should be in the mail. It's $32,068.40. Saw an email today about a potential committee schedule changes.
Honey brought it up to me. I was talking to her. Actually, the suggestion was to try to have all the committee meetings in the first couple of weeks. So there's that like week gap between committees and the county board meeting. So that we don't have the county board agenda come out and there's adding and, well, we don't have a resolution signed. We don't know what's in the resolution. But when they have the packet come out, there's time to actually read the material. That was a suggestion.
Makes sense. Just want to make sure you guys are aware that people are looking at that and normally this meeting is it's done on schedules and then fit it in your model, but yeah, but I did mention that to me.
So they send it out to department heads or
Just sent it to me. I'm not sure why.
clerk's office did or?
Looked like they were thinking of moving forestry earlier in one second.
Makes sense that they do.
Yeah, they're before forestry. But I suspect that's not done. That was the first I that email that came through today, so I thought you know.
Okay, bring that up again once we get to the second next meeting date too.
Okay.
I know we can look at it and if it works, it would be nice to, the idea of it makes sense. It depends on whether it works for the committee.
And that's all.
Jared? Right?
I did talk to him, he's working on getting set up. We're gonna get two, or, two radios,
The test radio, right?
yep. Get some fire in his place.
All right. Any other questions? Not on the discussion of possible motions to bring timber bid packets. And is there any big changes in the bid packets that you want to point out to us?
No big changes, a new thing is that we hoping to stream the bid opening. Like we do our meetings, a couple of contractors requested that. But they don't have to drive over here to watch it.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, it's pretty much all. You won't want us to do anything.
Well, no, they just want the live stream on is all.
Oh.
Right?
Virtual option.
Which, yeah. But I mean, that would be a good thing. If
Yeah, I have no problem with that. It would be easy. I think it's all right.
It's the same thing that Highway's already doing.
Okay.
They're already doing it for their bid openings.
Yeah. You
It's the day of, the morning of our meeting, traditionally is what we've been doing, but that way they can just log in and watch it.
Yeah. You can go through. Yep. Yeah, we can come here.
And that's how we did it last time.
That's how we've done it.
Correct. We just want to be able to have it.
A live stream this time.
Mhm.
See the QR code on these too.
Okay, but with that, I guess, with that, if we're gonna be changing our committee day, it's those a screw in it. See, that's something new that just came up.
And we could look at it in the future. Come back.
How many of these are old sales? Last year. I think four, of them. I think the first four, did you revise them from what we had last year? Yep. See if there's one, cut the price down a little bit more. Fifteen. In total. Thank you. 15 million. Okay, any questions on the seconds? Not. But entertain a motion to accept the seconds. Gentlemen, motion by Jerry, second by Alex, any more discussion?
Did you change that?
Up to the way we had it last.
After we revised it?
Yes. Okay. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. Advertise for spring timber bid opening, that's advertised in the newspaper?
Yep.
Right, do we need a dollar amount on that, or just a?
Need a regular motion, just nothing.
Yep, motion. Motion by Phil, second by Alec. Any more discussion? You just gotta have the date time, when you're gonna open them on there, right? Date time needs to be on that when you open them.
Yep, so, and it is the printout on there. This one. So, and this is what's gonna be, if we change our meeting date, and we can adjust this at the end if need be, because I have it as what we were doing would have been May 20th. So if we change our meeting date, we can change the bid time date, and that's fine.
Well, especially the next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. Yeah, otherwise, we shorten it up a week, that's a week less that they got the.
I think it'll be okay, because it's still 4 weeks. Yeah, the second Monday, it will still be pretty much for 3.5 weeks. I think that's enough time. But there is value in going with what we had as well. I make the motion to keep it the same as what we have in our package. Each one,
Just postpone it for a month, you're saying?
Yeah.
Get it together by the next.
And then next month,
Yeah.
we could look into the date changes.
you have a meeting in the morning, but the meeting in the afternoon.
No. But you know, that work, it's so there's something selling, so it's. We don't know.
All right. All right, so we got a motion and a second to advertise for, in the paper. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. It carries.
Right. George, you're up. Russ Ryder's Archway Trust.
Yeah, this idea came from when we were riding up like Mercer. And, they have a big archway on their trail, welcoming everyone to the area. And also on the Wild Rivers Trail and where Barron County, and Washburn County line are. They have an archway and I thought, why can't we have this? In your packet, there's a rough sketch of what we're trying to do. And we'd like to ask permission to construct and install two of these on the trail system, one at the start of Trail 133 and Kozak Lane, North Warehouser, and one on Trail 1A where it starts Surrey County line. In answer to Bob's concern, I had spoken to Jared a few months ago about the 16-foot clearance. And that's 3 feet over legal road height of vehicles. So I'm not worried about anybody hitting it, and if they do, they probably shouldn't be driving.
But so this will, be big enough that logging equipment can get through them.
Yeah, and I talked to a couple contractors, asked them what kind of approach they would like to see if we had something that's 16 feet. should be good.
Okay.
And it says 4x8 sign, that just came from the idea of using a sheet of plywood, treated plywood, but it may be a 3x12 sign. Basically, welcome to the Blue Hills ATV UTV trails. And there would be a logo for the Russ Riders ATV Club, and at our meeting the other night, the Warehouses Homedale Club said that they would share the cost of this. All the materials and labor will be furnished by the clubs. We're gonna be using power transmission poles for this. So I think it just adds to the, welcome to the people that ride in Blue Hills. And I want to some stay on trail signs on the poles. Appreciate if you let us do that.
I don't see any reason why we don't.
So
Bring it, donate the time.
I'm also sorry, Jeeps, anything there, 14 feet. I think you're right. Like, yeah, it's a newer silver one, you can say it. As long as they're not set right on the curve.
Great. Yeah, that 14-foot width, that's approximate, depending on the length of the poles for the top, how far apart we can go. We might be 18 feet wide in those. But we're definitely gonna be 16 foot high.
more the better.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Not touching.
If not, all in favor of allowing the Russ Riders to build the archways, say aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Dave Murphy Pavilion use, May 13th through the 18th for the Ice Age Travel Alliance.
It's a computer, it's glitching on and off. Is what's happening.
This age drill has a couple annual work weekends that they do and specifically.
Mm-mm.
To camp at the Murphy videos there.
It's the computer. It's not this, it's the actual computer.
Yeah. 13th through 18th. Let's see how many. This isn't in the campground, it's in the lane side, we'll just set up around the yard.
So they just want permission to set up their tents.
It's generally a no camping area. But for as long as I've been here, we go out the Ice Age trail on their work weekends. You can't. While they work on the trail. Yes, there's that. Yeah.
They got shovels too. Yeah, that's the woods. Make a motion to approve. All right, motion by Jerry, second by Kathy. Any more discussion?
If not, all in favor say aye. Carries. Okay, equipment for auction.
So. The trailer on the bottom, the black one. One that, the reason we bought a new trailer last year. It's pretty much junk, the axle is broken from the frame, rusted away. See the sidewalls, they don't, picture doesn't do justice, but those are, I think they're like a plywood that's coated in thin plastic, their plywood's all rotting out. Sidewall, it's junk. Can't go down the road, the wheel rubs on the fender real bad, because the axle is not gonna break.
Are we gonna get anything up for that?
What's that?
Are we even gonna get anything for that auction?
I don't know. But if I can figure out who the auction people are that do from the past, they just come pick stuff up. That's the check on it's all set.
Is it the surplus auction site?
One of those.
It's got some surplus.
Yeah.
I see a lot of highway stuff is on that side.
Yeah, highway, school, whatever.
They had a pumper truck, fire truck there, pumper truck, only got $1,000 bid and it's been on there for quite a while. So. People are wary of what they're getting there, I'm sure.
You buy it, sort of booth on business.
Yeah,
Trailer in the middle is a snowmobile trailer that, as far as I know, it works just fine. Although I have crawled underneath it and I don't think it's gone down the highway for several, at least 5 years. We just don't use it, we don't have a snowmobile. We might as well get rid of it.
Did we have a snowmobile once upon a time?
Hmm?
Do we have a snowmobile once upon a time?
Yeah, we had one, we auctioned it away. Probably 5-6 years ago.
Because we got tracks for the ATVs now.
Yeah.
I don't need a snowmobile.
Yeah, well, yeah, we got tracks for one ATV and for the UTV. And then the four-wheeler on the top. That went into Jerry's in Bruce and he called back and said he's no longer gonna work on that machine because it's basically a junk. Guess that's that.
And, that goes along with the next agenda, item, number 5. You'd be requesting it. Really?
It starts, some of the shifting doesn't work. It's been in like probably 2 times every single year. You get an electric shifters pre-fit. Front, he said the front end suspension almost all over, all bearing, all shot. Put way more money into it than they're gonna be worth in order to take it to run right again. He simply said he's not. I guess I try to take it somewhere else. I don't see your point in it.
Could we jump ahead to make sure that you get the approval to buy a new wheel before we approve?
Well,
What do you know?
whether I get approvals, I don't have money in the budget for a new wheeler this year.
So you're planning on going the rest of the year without
Yeah,
one anyway, okay.
maybe probably have to. I don't anticipate you guys wanting to pull money from the general budget to buy a four-wheeler, but I'm gonna try to include it in the budget for next year. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do the sales of this equipment roll back into the committee or the department that it came from? Or do they go into the general fund and then come back on one?
Do we have a line or?
It goes to the general fund. We don't get it.
Just curious.
If you guys want, we can get rid of those 3 junk. Oh. It said the middle trail seems to be fine. Brick well went park.
I do a motion to put equipment on auction.
Okay, we got a motion by Jerry to put the two pieces of equipment on auction.
I would just have that.
You got a second?
Also, I got probably good.
Second by Phil. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Any opposed, say no. Carries. Okay, equipment purchase request. So I started, I just wanted the map for the being related to it.
They don't really have any, I think we'll live through a year. And try to get a budget in for next year. I don't. We're gonna need 3. Yeah, I mean, I think. From January. If it works out in the budget.
we have to know what that's going to
Well, yeah, you're right. I was looking.
go shopping.
But
I mean, a new Honda Rancher, basic machines, lasts 25 years or so. This one is 2003. The sake of basic, because it lasts a long time. I'm sure there's somewhere around 6,000 or 7,000 and stuff.
yeah, you might wanna.
Yeah, I'll look into it before the budget.
Estimate for the budget and then after budgeted, then. We're supposed to look and buy them and get bids or quotes.
You should sign a cooperative agreement with the authority to use theirs.
You can use it when we're not using it.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of cool equipment.
Make sure it's full gas, so it's like,
Yeah, right.
return it.
Maybe let's get a mutual agreement for their client too.
That would be cool. Take that.
The dozer?
Those are, that's what I'm,
You dropped it off.
there's a few things.
You get a good deal with the dozer.
Tracks. Get you more pictures.
Four tracks for measuring is $200. That's from 420
Everyone's about when I see that truck out and buying one, like, lay my horn.
All right, so not really any action on the equipment purchase.
engineering. Have you worked out in the budget? We could. We could pull it out of, Forestry. She drawn like. You better be pulling off the sugar, because they never die. General forestry budget.
Yeah, it was gonna transfer all kinds of money yesterday.
Yeah,
Transfer money.
no, yeah, we
Forward
could,
from like 8 lines.
yeah, we could, but like with the tourism budget, it's probably easier to predict what our expenses, planned expenses are, or for Jared, we'd probably want to get sort of
So,
like September before you know if you had, right?
right, yeah, I don't wanna.
If you're-
into throwing. You expected $6,000. It is there, it's there.
But it's harder to predict.
I will say this, the 5,000 for the bond, the road work that we talked about earlier in the year. That we can't access that bond money for because of all the general fund. We're probably going to have bond confiscation money come in. So that 5,000 shouldn't have to come out of the forestry budget. We use the bond money we get this year for the. So that helps.
And this year during the budget process, we'll have a line for that. Bond. Yeah, like the, continued appropriation.
But we should go into, it's totally.
Yeah.
You're sure you're fine not having one? Seems like a pretty important piece of that.
Yeah, if we have a couple guys work together.
We can check 3 or 4 people on a trailer.
I know, the nurse is cancer.
Maybe we should get you.
We do.
Just follow them up there.
You got one person on a rope hanging behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
The other sled, you can ride it back.
Yeah, ride with the paint guns and paint.
I think for a short time, like a few months, we can. Someone can mark here, they can park the truck. If I. Great.
Right.
These the tree do.
That
That we're doing up.
yeah,
That's what you need the tree on.
yes,
Oh, yeah, sorry. no.
that where we're at.
Alright, yeah, that's where we're done with the equipment purchase. Then, logo use request by Dirty Ducks Lane and environmental.
Dirty Duck sent an email asking if he could send them our logo. So that they can put it on their website. Raving about how they're helping the environment and plant trees. That they give us there.
Like the bike.
Yeah, I would assume we'd probably send them even, yeah, this. I think the other 3 or 4 other counties and the DNR planning to send their logo. It was suggested, I asked Rich if that would be all right, so I did, and he suggested getting more guys' approval. I don't see a problem.
Oh, I mean, give us some money for something to use it for. Throw the logo up there. Alright, we got a motion for that? Motion by Alec, second by Phil, any more discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, say no. Carries. We'll jump ahead to item 8, out of county travel. Let's see, you got the Alpha Advisory Committee,
Already went.
the. Either, we need a stamp here. Yeah. We want to do one.
One way.
Oh, yeah.
For next.
Alright, so get a motion.
Tons of more people going to summer.
Yeah. Alright, motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say no, motion carries. Okay, we get the WCFA summer tour, June 18th to the 20th in Hayward. What did you have, Tom, for going to that one?
I'd like to get approval for everybody. Ethan, Mike, Jake, John, and Roy. And then I did for the spring. Ended up just being Dana spring one. I think John has expressed interest in going to the summer tour at this point. I don't think Mike doesn't. Guarantee. Roy and Jake are up in the air. Phil, this is one people to right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be, so
Throw me on that.
the 18th would be probably just me and Phil for the board meeting.
Yeah.
And then the 19th and 20th would be anybody else.
Is anybody else in the committee interested in going to that one?
Back into it. This is the hands-on one.
This is the one we did in
Yeah.
Marathon where we went to the food factory and all that.
In Maryland, yeah.
Or sure.
I don't think I've seen an agenda yet.
Yeah, the agenda was on the back.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Well, how long do we got to commit to into this? If anybody else wants to.
I'm not sure when
I thought the reservations closed within the month, if I remember right. I saw an email, I thought you on it, but then you said you don't have a problem canceling the room if it's a reasonable amount of time.
Blocks expire May 17th, deadline to register is June 1st. Well, it all depends how many rooms, how many, like, that's why I didn't have names.
So is it too late to do it next one?
Well, the room blocks will be done by then, right? So we won't get the discount hotel room.
Meals, but the only thing I don't know.
Right. Thursday. That's Fridays.
That's usually $40 a day.
This is.
Is that season?
By 19.
Hey, you can put me down below.
And you're gonna go just the last 2 days or all 3?
No, I'm not, Phil's on the committee, I'm not on the committee, so I just
Wanna
need
double check.
the tour part.
That's 2 days.
Yeah.
Well, by the time you come travel home.
Yeah.
It's in Hayward.
Well, and then you go down the night before. Nice, 2 days.
Yeah, because the board meeting usually starts at 10 o'clock, so there's no reason to go the night before. So some people do,
On the day that you go,
yeah,
but on for the 19th, it starts at 7, right, or 8:30 boarding the buses, but you get the, so that one you probably want to go the night before. Right, you guys, you don't get there the day of, you go the night before.
Sometimes. Then, but I'm like, so. And how far it is. As soon as we can move, so. Danny and Jacob, they might come. Potentially. Which is, we're with Matt, we should probably include.
It's the usual.
Would probably calculate based on that.
Couple breakfasts.
Don't do that, that's better.
Be a couple.
Not the guys go down on it.
And storage. I think we should do one there. There's a banquet dinner.
So, well, they'll probably go down.
I just say that it's.
Yeah, you will go?
So it's hard. It's going down
Is it because Jared's going? Or because I'm?
Thursday or they're going down Wednesday?
Well, there's nothing, we're doing this every year.
Because Phil's going. So that wasn't because of me or Jared.
They go to that church. It's gonna be this at 5.
If the sewer line's not going.
It's hard to tell when you're gonna go. You do a rest of them. You're looking at just shy of $2,000 right now. And that doesn't include any covered meals.
That's if everyone.
Yeah.
The motion to spend up to 2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that.
Yes.
All right, so I get a motion by Kathy and a second by Jerry to approve the out of county travel for up to 2K. Any more discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Carries. Okay, review and approve bills. Everybody had a chance to look at the bills. Did you get any
questions? Or
Which, what bridge is this?
We paid the $5 for the full 300 renewal since it's the one word option.
I'll go there, north of town. On Florida.
Hey, you don't have to pay, you know. $5 is $5. The nickels and dimes will get you.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur Johnson.
We're waiting for good.
What's the Arthur Johnson?
Bridge inspection.
Build the bridge inspection on the bridge.
So this one's on triple.
Okay, does somebody could make a motion to approve those? Motion by Jerry, second by Adam. Any more discussion?
Yeah. Get rid of, right?
Hey, did you renew the sticker on the Honda that was?
No, we did not do that one. Oh, it's a different ATV.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Not all those in favor of approving the bill, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Carries. All right, so next meeting date, we want to keep the same, which is
May 20th.
May 20th at 3 p.m. Okay, then we can go to closed session announced by Chair. Leader ATV bridge proceeding discussing. That's 19.85 paragraph 1 for G to announce the closed session for current of legal counsel for the government body who is running oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to the litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. Get a motion to go into closed session. And, second. Okay, yeah, all right, Harry's abstaining. Kathy?
Yes.
Alex, yes. For myself, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. We are now in closed session.
Hold on.
Why?